We are back with more of My Southern Home, and I'm here with Cale Iorg with BankSouth Mortgage, and thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, Kimberly, thanks for having me.
So I just love the story behind your company. It's so inspiring.
It really is. You know, our company, BankSouth Mortgage, was founded in 2008. We were founded by Kim Nelson. If you kind of think back to 2008, not a lot of mortgage companies were being created then, right? Just with the downfall of the market. And of those companies, far fewer of them were being started by a woman. And it really speaks to Kim, the type of leader she is, the type of person she is. And she's really created a wonderful company. And we're fortunate to have a partner like BankSouth, right? We're a local community bank in Georgia. BankSouth Mortgage is a wholly owned subsidiary of that bank. And they're a great partner. They really serve us in a lot of ways.
Well, I think it says a lot about Kim that she was able to start a business like this, which isn't easy, especially in a downturn.
Yeah.
And have it be so lucrative and so successful that she's able to merge with BankSouth, which has an equally wonderful reputation in the marketplace.
I really do. And Kim is a mortgage professional. You know, before she started the company, being a loan officer, she was top in the state of Georgia for several years. So she's very successful. She knows this industry inside and out. So it's really no surprise if you know Kim that the company has grown the way that it has. And here we are, 16 years later, and we're a top 6 lender in our home state of Georgia. And it's with a really small group of people. So we're lean, we're light, and we are a mortgage company. We just get after it.
Well, and talk about expanding. You're now in the Middle Tennessee market, which is exciting. Welcome to Nashville.
Thank you. So it's kind of unique how this all came about, right? I actually grew up in Knoxville, Tennessee. So in some instances, my family and I were coming back home. But it was around January that my wife and I decided let's move to Tennessee. You know, it was always on the radar. We've got family here. We moved to Mount Juliet. And about 2 weeks before we ended up moving back to Tennessee, I get a call from Matt Krager with BankSouth, and he said, "Hey, we heard you're going to Nashville, and this is a market we've been dying to get into." And he said, "Are you open for a challenge?" And knowing BankSouth with my previous company in Georgia, tremendous company. So right away, I'm flattered and honored that they thought of me to want to recruit. And again, it's 2024. Not a lot of people are thinking about growing a business, especially a mortgage business in the market that we've had recently. But when you know Kim's story, it makes all the sense in the world why she's being proactive and she doesn't shy away from a challenge. So having her behind me and kind of outline the steps that this is how we make it work, I felt super comfortable to come to a new market in Nashville and bring our brand here, right? And the best thing that I'll say is how receptive everybody has been. We've been here for about 2 months now, and I've been able to meet so many wonderful people. And that matters a lot, and that means a lot, because again, we're a community bank. We want to be, not just work here, but we live here, we play here, we're involved, and you really want to love where you live, and we love being in Nashville.
Well, and you're very passionate about what you do for a living as well. And I think that that's so important when you're dealing with homeowners, because it can be a very stressful time when you're dealing with the economy that we have right now, and you have multiple offers still in the Middle Tennessee market, and then you're negotiating home inspections and just all the different nuances that go with navigating a sale of a home.
Yeah, it's very stressful, right? Like, even when everything goes perfectly, you're interrupting your life. And I get a reality and a reminder that often. I mean, even 2 months ago, and I moved my family of 4 kids in school. My wife works, I work, and you're uplifting everything going to a new spot. And we all know Nashville's a destination city, right? It seems like people highlight when they're from Nashville, so a lot of people come here, very similar to Atlanta. So in that regard, you just want to be respectful of that, you want to understand it, but it means a lot when someone says, "I want to buy a home, I'm going to trust you to do that and help me out with that."
So speaking of the trust factor, there is a lot of trust that goes along with that. What are some of the things that homeowners need to think about when they're trying to partner with a lender like BankSouth Mortgage?
Great question. Yeah, I think right away you want to do business with who you're comfortable with, right? Because there are so many moving pieces. And if you bought a home 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, it's not the same market, right? Our industry is very fluid. Guidelines change. What's available changes. The markets, the rates. There's so much to think about. Programs are constantly changing, right? What's available to a certain home buyer, it's always changing. So make sure that who you're talking to, they're talking and treating you like they are the professional. That's what I love about what I do. It's understanding the nuances of the work. It's doing my homework, always being a student, being educated on what I can bring to a client. So it's not about just the transaction and getting the home closed. You really want to feel like you're setting people up for financial success moving forward. And that's how you create that deep relationship to people come back and see in 2 or 3 years or whenever it's time to buy. And of course, as you know, it always feels good when someone says, hey, I had such a great experience with you. You need to talk to my family. You need to talk to my friend. That means the world to us.
Well, and I love the fact that you're a mortgage company, because a lot of people don't know the difference between using a bank specifically and using a mortgage company.
Yeah, big difference, right? And banks are great. They certainly have a lot of strengths. And you look at BankSouth and BankSouth Mortgage, we're powered by a bank. Again, a top performing community bank in the country. And they really are a great partner because it almost feels like they exist to provide us with everything we need to do. And I said to you earlier, right, we're big enough to handle everything and small enough to where I could get Kim, our founder, on the phone if I had to talk about a scenario. But you're right, we are a mortgage company. This is our niche, that's all that we do. So you want to be professional, you really want to talk to a mortgage company.
Well, and a mortgage company tends to have more creative solutions to fit a home buyer's financial situation as well.
Right, absolutely. Because again, we're a community company, right? And we want to work with everybody in our community. So if you're a first-time home buyer, 2020, 2021, very, very weird market. And a lot of people felt like that just, even though rates were low, I couldn't really get into the market at that time for one reason or another. So you want to have a wide array of products so you can serve everybody. People looking to add to their family, they need a bigger home. Maybe you're downsizing. If you're into the jumbo market, right? You just got to have everything. And again, the bank, being a great partner, has given us the full tool belt to go out there and serve our community.
Well, Nashville is an interesting beast because we have so many of all the different levels of home ownership. We're in an Old South model right now, and they love helping that first-time home buyer get into a home. And the median home sale here in Nashville, you would think it's higher, but it's actually still in the 500s.
Yeah, and that's great because affordability is a big hot topic, right? And that's kind of what is going to drive people from maybe not wanting to go through the approval process and find out what they can buy. Is they just see things on the news, they hear about rates and what may happen and what may not happen to the economy. And it's nice to be able to get somebody on the phone, have a conversation, and say, you'd be surprised at what you might be able to afford. And the fact that it's available is huge. So many thanks to our wonderful builders that get out there and have an emphasis on being able to serve everybody.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us. We really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
We'll be back with more of My Southern Home in just a moment.